Turkish press says that midfielder Fred from the Brazilian national team and Fenerbahce is negotiating with Flamengo. Wow, man. Jose Boto talked about Felipe Luis's contract renewal and also about the issue with BAP about the statement of 1 billion reais in expenses. He said it got in the way, huh? Look at that. But we're going to explain the context here. Jose Boto explained about that. We're also bringing here, man, the debut of Michael Questão, also of Cebolinha. We're bringing a lot of information for you here on the channel. Paparazzo Rubro Negro coming in just like that. What's up, guys? Red Black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below. Turn on the notification bell and leave that cool like on the video. Here we go. Brought to you by Haroldo's Caravan. You can secure your spot at Mango's games with Haroldo's Caravan too. Recopa Sudamericana. Now let's go after the second Recopa Championship with Haroldo's Caravan, and Haroldo's Caravan is just spectacular. Top-notch service for you all. Look, we're also here to remind you that you can, if you have your own house, if you're already in the area, already in Florida, you have your house, you have your car, you want the best man, the best insurance broker who's going to get you the best insurance. That's it. It's AIP Florida. Anna and her team do a great job. So you can get in touch with AIP. Here's the AIP Florida handle. Get in touch with them. You won't regret it. It's there in the description, the pinned comment, AIP Florida, the most awarded in the region, so you'll be very well taken care of with AIP too. And of course, we remind you here that if you want to dollarize your assets, if you're thinking about investing and all that, do you want the best real estate options in Florida? You can talk to Vivi Homes Orlando at Vivi Homes Orlando. Just mention you came through Paparazzo and she'll bring you the best options. In fact, I've already met some people here who came to buy with Vivi, came to invest to buy with Vivi, and they're all very satisfied. Yesterday, I was supposed to meet a guy she gave my contact info to. Guys, they're already in touch. They also want to invest here. So the followers, everyone is keeping up. The people who want to invest are looking, and man, they're getting the best service. There are vacation homes. There are those themed houses, all of that. You can invest and get an amazing return, especially here in the Orlando area. Well, let's go. We had the interview with Jose Boto. Talking about Felipe Luis's contract renewal process, he said the following. The decisive factor was his desire and Flamengo's desire to stay together. Of course, there were setbacks and advances during the process. We were negotiating with perhaps one of the biggest agents in the world, which made the negotiation take longer. Also, it happened during our vacations, with each of us in different places, which made negotiation even harder. But there was a moment when I spoke directly with Felipe without anyone else in the middle, and then things moved forward. The last conversation was between you and him, the question, and he went without an agent, without a president, without anyone, just me and him. So, Jose Boto, talking about this renewal with Felipe Luis, how did it happen? We also had Jose Boto talking about the issue. So he was talking about BAP's statement about the matter of 1 billion reais. We had him talking here. Obviously, this kind of statement, guys, look, just before making it controversial, he's talking about what this caused. That statement about, oh, we have 1 billion to hire. So before it seems like we're trying to say there's no conflict. Obviously, this kind of statement, especially understood the way it was, because that's not exactly what he said. Look at him defending BAP, saying that's not what he meant, that he had 1 billion to spend on soccer at that moment. So it hurts during the transfer window, he says. It hurts during the transfer window. I won't go into financial details because that's not really my area, but it's obvious that it gets in the way. And he's not complaining about BAP. He's talking about the way people understood his statement, right? Because what I also know, even if he doesn't mention it in the interview, is that it was 1 billion over 2 years, covering payroll and all football expenses. Okay, so it wasn't that there was 1 billion for this transfer window, right? And when he talks, he continues. When on the other side, this kind of thing happened, the demands are higher, especially here in Brazil. Okay, so Jose Boto talking about this. So we know that obviously saying there's a billion to spend would cause this kind of thing. I think at that moment when BAP spoke, he could have obviously explained it a bit better. I had already understood that it wasn't for this transfer window. I said, look, we have a billion to spend. I already knew it wasn't, but a lot of people didn't understand. When Flamengo enters the market, others try to take advantage. That's just how it is. And guys, look, we're going to talk about the Cebolinha situation here. And we had Michael in the debut. Guys, he wasn't getting any opportunities here at Flamengo. And in his debut, he scored a goal for Alula. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Small area, he chipped it twice. He chipped it. He chipped it. He chipped it. Look at that. That's what I'm saying, man. He wasn't getting a chance. Samuelino was getting a lot of chances. I have nothing against Samuelino. I hope it works out for him. But man, Vinya wasn't getting a chance. He's there. Starter at River. Michael already arrived scoring goals. It's complicated, right? And we, man, might end up losing Cebolinha too in this. So let's talk to you now about Cebolinha. Roll the intro and then guys, check this out. Foreign websites specialized in transfers are reporting that Flamengo is negotiating the signing of Fred, a midfielder from Fenerbahce. We've already done some research here. It's important, obviously, the news that's coming out abroad is from Turkish websites. For example, Transfer Feed, look at this, is listing Fred as a Flamengo target in negotiations with Flamengo. So we've seen some profiles here in Brazil posting about this, saying they would be interested in Pedro as well, and that Fred would be in negotiations with Flamengo. I chose to investigate with a source linked to the board. See their news. Fred, the Brazilian midfielder, may leave Fenerbahce. He expressed the desire to return to his home country and is in negotiations with Flamengo. Ajax from the Netherlands was interested in the 32-year-old player, but withdrew because of the high transfer cost. Who would have thought Flamengo now pays more than Ajax and others? Besides, this is their article from Transfer Feed. Fred's future may be linked to a possible transfer of Kante from Al Ittihad, since Fred's name was mentioned in a possible player swap. The Brazilian national team player, with 32 caps, joined his current club in August 2023 on a contract through June 2027. He provided 2 assists and played 19 matches this season. In January 2026, Olympiacos offered a loan with an €11 million purchase option. A separate offer of €9 million from the same club was also mentioned in the same month. A proposal from Atlético Mineiro was reportedly rejected. So, he's a player who faces a lot of rejection from Brazilian fans, and Flamengo supporters don't really want to see him playing for the club. That was the reaction I noticed in the comments on posts about the interest 5 days ago. And now, again, with this news that came out abroad, we did some checking. I sent it to a source connected to the board, and what they told us is that this is just an agent trying to stir things up, using Flamengo's name again to promote the player, even though he's already 32. We know that Fred from Fenerbahce is 32 years old. He's a player who's above that 26-year-old limit that Flamengo wants to sign up to 26. So this source close to the board assured me that there's nothing going on. Flamengo is not negotiating Fred's signing. Flamengo is not negotiating Fred's signing. This was just confirmed to us, so it's ruled out. I'm going to talk now about Everton Cebolinha. We had a statement from him after the game, which I think is emblematic. He was anxious. We always want to help. I've been going through an excellent moment. I was there, biting my nails, dying to get in. Unfortunately, I didn't get in, but that's okay. On Wednesday, I'll be well prepared to help our team tomorrow against Inter. You can see the player is nervous, upset, wanting to have an opportunity. His contract renewal is on the table. We know that nothing is certain yet. Flamengo even wants to renew with the player, but it's not possible that they don't see it. Who is ready to play but hasn't been given a chance? This has been maybe, I think this has been a very serious mistake. Yeah, for example, we had Ayrton. Lucas didn't make a good decision. He made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes, right? Could Vinha be a starter at River? He had a rough patch at River, but overall he's doing well and is a starter. It's not possible that Vinha wouldn't get an opportunity at Flamengo. It's not possible. I can't understand it. And now the same thing is happening with Cebolinha. Soon Cebolinha will be a starter, shining at another club. There are a lot of clubs wanting Cebolinha. Everyone wants Cebolinha. And the guy is doing great. He had an injury for a while and all, but he's doing great. He's asking for a chance. So it's hard to understand why Cebolinha doesn't get an opportunity at Flamengo. Man, we notice that this happens and we end up losing some good players. And Cebolinha, man, is everything Flamengo needs. He's a relief. He's a player who could change the game there. Honestly, I can't understand why you don't start some matches with Cebolinha. You don't give Cebolinha the chance to start playing. He's been playing excellent games. He's come in and changed the game. I get upset when I see this kind of thing, you know. Man, I think every Flamengo fan agrees. Flamengo fans didn't want Vinha to leave. They wanted more chances for Cebolinha. I want you to comment here, because the coach won't get everything right. We're here to point out some things about the management, the coach, everyone. We need to point out certain things so that if they're even paying attention, if it's even reaching them, if they even want to think about what we're saying. But we have to do our part to try to warn about what's happening. And the fans, there are a lot of fans talking about this, commenting. Here, I want to see your comments. Still about Cebolinha, Felipe Luiz explained why we had Cebolinha coming in at the 81st minute. There were 9 minutes left to finish the game. It doesn't make sense, right, man? We just can't understand it. Felipe Luiz praised Everton Cebolinha, noting he's seeking a chance as he did in November. I tried Cebolinha in Arrascaeta's spot for a week. He was recovering from injury, had trouble against Botafogo, but now he's training well and wants a chance. Their rivalry improves them both. I chose to start them together, explaining he was on fire at the time. In November, Cebolinha is already vying for a spot again, earning high praise from fans. And he doesn't start playing against Corinthians and comes in with 9 minutes left. Let's listen to what Felipe Luiz has to say since we talked about this issue. I hadn't brought this up before. Felipe Luiz explained why he didn't start with Cebolinha. And I want to understand, man, the whole point is this. My fear is that we might lose a great player because the guy gets upset, gets annoyed from not being used.
Look, the lineup I thought of for the attack was the one I thought was best for the game plan we had. Players with strong skills can handle individual pressure. I wanted Carrascal to come inside to create superiority, and for him to hold his position and free up Arrascaeta at times so Arrascaeta could have more time. With Mateusinho already more tired from having to defend and with less strength to press. And then Cebolinha could play just like he did in the last games, coming in during the second half, which I also think about for the second half. So all my decisions were always made with the game plan in mind.
That's his explanation. I don't agree.
Not always, but I always consider what's best for the team.
So Bruno Castagna asked him that question, and he replied that he had a plan to use Cebolinha with Mateusinho, who was more tired at that point, and it would be necessary, and it would be a better moment for Cebolinha to come in. I disagree. I think Cebolinha should have started, but that's Felipe's call. He'll make mistakes too, but at least he admits he'll make wrong decisions sometimes. But Cebolinha is asking for a chance, playing really well. Every team in Brazil wants him, and the guy comes in with only 9 minutes left. It's really complicated. I understood his explanation. The red card disrupted Cebolinha's entry early in the second half, around the 15th minute. I'm not sure when he would have been subbed in, but from Janelaijão,